What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Between the Numbers Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Daryl, and we're going to be talking about some LSU recruiting, but more so, we're going to be talking about LSU on a recruiting trail with two top 100 defensive backs, one being the number one consensus defensive back, cornerback in the whole nation in DJ Pickett, and the number 84 all around player in the 2025 class, um, Jaboree Anotoine. So, if you've been following recruiting for LSU, you know that LSU had a fantastic 4th of July weekend or holiday, right? They got two big time commitments from uh, at a position of need along the defensive line, right? And LSU is looking to continue that hot streak uh, on July 17th. And that's coming in the form of the number one um, overall cornerback in the 2025 class, which he's a top 5 prospect from Florida, DJ Pickett, right? So again, he is the number one cornerback in the 2025 class. And so these are some things that, well, first of all, he chopped his list down, right? So he eliminated Georgia, and he's a Florida kid, so he now has um, Miami, LSU, and Oregon, right? And so as of 1 hour ago, on 3 Sports, right, had him crystal balled to Oregon. But before 1 hour ago, right? So earlier today, they had him going to LSU. So a bit of a kind of a bitter taste, but hey, it's not over yet. He's set to commit uh, July 17th. But let's get into it, right? So, like I said, he's narrowed his list down to Miami, which is a home school because he's from Florida, Oregon, and LSU. Now he had some very good things to say about LSU, right? And Coach Raymond. I'm going to read you what he said. I read this article on the Bengal Tiger. I think Shay Dixon wrote this article, but this is what he said. I'm just quoting what he said, okay? So he said, me and Coach Raymond, me and his relationship is like no other. I feel like he cares for me even when I'm not committed to the team or the school yet. He's just a person who really cares for me and someone I feel like I can go to about anything. So that's huge, right? That's huge. It's important to build a relationship, build a connection with these young men. You know, it's a lot of pressure on these players to play at a high level. Most times, get their family out of the situation that they're in and get their family into a better situation. Now, I don't know the situation with DJ Pickett and his family. I'm just saying there's a lot of pressure when you are the number one consensus cornerback in the nation, right? And you got all of these schools that want your attention. And so, a lot of times these guys they do leave home and they go play out of state, right? And sometimes they play miles and miles and miles and hours away from their hometown and their families, right? And so, you want them to feel at home, right? And so that's huge how he speaks, about Corey Raymond, right? And you know, he also says, I liked LSU before Corey Raymond even got there. So, Corey Raymond was at Florida and then he came back to LSU. But once he left Florida and he went to LSU, it was a no-brainer to go visit and see how everything is, Pickett said. He said, once I visited, I loved it. And so, he's been to LSU 5 times over the last 5 months, to include an official visit. And he says that his relationship with the staff, to include defensive coordinator Blake Baker, is strengthened in a big way. And he's also become very familiar with the school offers outside of football. So you have to think that, read in between the lines, he's talking about NIL. Of course, talking about the area, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the food, which he mentioned, right? He said, I learned a lot about LSU, the atmosphere. A lot of people tell me about the environment of it. It's basically like my hometown. Again, very high remarks. and that's a plus for me. I feel very comfortable at LSU. The people are cool there, and the food is good. So again, all the things that you hear about, Louisiana in general, right? The food being good, people that visit Baton Rouge love it, right? Visiting teams, they love it, and so like that, And so again, he said he learned a lot about LSU and everything outside of LSU. So you have to think, you know, it was some NIL discussions going on in there because that's the name of the game now. NIL plays a huge part. Everybody wants to get paid, and so you know, Corey Raymond, there's a lot of pressure, right? So there's I love Corey Raymond, right? And there's a lot of fans. If you look on Twitter, right? Again, I'm just a guy who loves LSU, who decides to start this podcast, right? Start this channel, and I kind of get a gauge for what the fans are thinking, and in Facebook groups, on X, on social media, right? And so if you look at uh, X or Twitter, right, a lot of the fans are still on the fence about Corey Raymond being rehired, right? When he was hired, a lot of the fans was happy. A lot of the fans were not so happy. I, for one, I was excited when I heard Corey Raymond was being brought back as the defensive back coach at LSU, and so I'm rooting for Corey Raymond. I am. I mean, I personally love Corey Raymond, right? And so I feel stressed, and so I only can imagine what Corey Raymond is feeling because you know Bo Davis has been making some splash commitments, right? He's getting guys in, um, and now everyone's kind of looking like, okay, Corey Raymond, you are the godfather of DBU. You got guys like Derek Stingley, Elijah Ricks, right? Crary Vincent, all of these guys, right? A long list of guys that Corey Raymond has brought into LSU, and now they're kind of looking like, okay, come on, you gotta land, DJ Pickett, right? And so on July 17th, we're gonna find out, right, whether or not he's going to be coming to LSU or he's going to be taking his talents to Oregon, right? Now, if you're paying attention again, Oregon, I read something today that I think Phil Knight, I'm probably saying that wrong. I think his name Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, said that he is going to give Oregon an unlimited NIL budget, right? So no cap, whatever Oregon needs to get uh, players in for a national championship, he's willing to do it. Now he's 86 years old, and so Oregon has never won a national championship. So he's probably looking at his immortality, and I mean at his mortality, and saying, hey, I'm not going to be around much longer. I'm 86 years old. I would love to see my team, my school, who I so love, win a national championship, right? And Oregon already has kind of like given LSU a black eye because they took Decorian Moore, right? He was committed to LSU. He backed out of his commitment, and he just committed to um, Oregon a few days ago, right? So that kind of blooded LSU's mouth, gave us a black eye, right? And so you need LSU to get DJ Pickett, right? You don't want Oregon to, get another guy, right? They got one of the top wide receivers, and they're going to have the top cornerback in the 2025 class, and so you feel like you got to win that battle with them, right? But again, it comes down to the dollar bill. Oregon has a whole lot of money. They got way more money than the LSU collective, right? And so you got to trust that. You got to think that although Oregon has a lot of money, you gotta hope that DJ Pickett is you got to trust that he's going to put his trust in his relationship with Coach Raymond, and the fact that he can be developed to be a first round draft pick in the NFL draft. Because you look at players like um, Derek Stingley and some other guys, right? You got to trust that he's going to put his career in the hands of Corey Raymond and that LSU staff to get him to the next level. And I'm not knocking Oregon. I'm not saying Oregon can't do that. I'm just saying that LSU has a better track record of putting talented stud defensive backs in the NFL. So that's all I'm saying. So yeah, but like I said, as of a few hours ago and even a few days ago, they had LSU leading both Miami and Oregon. But as of a few minutes ago, if you go on 3 Sports and type in DJ Pickett's name, he's now he's Oregon has jumped LSU for his commitment. So again, we'll find out on July 17th. But a lot of stress, right? Now, another guy who LSU needs to land, right? They had him before is Westgate 4-star cornerback Jaboree Anotoine, right? So, like I said, he was committed to LSU. He decommitted on June 23rd, right? So not even a month ago. And now he's gonna be announcing his new commitment on July 20th, right? So a few days after DJ Pickett, right? So that's why I'm saying it'd be great. Imagine if LSU land DJ Pickett on um, July 17th, and then we get Jaboree Anotoine on July 20th, right? You could pretty much say DBU is back. But anyways, right. So he's 6'1", 175 pounds. He's the number 84 overall prospect and the number 9 corner in the 2025 cycle, right? So he's a top 100 player and he's the number 9 corner in all of the nation, right? Um, and he's the number 2 player in Louisiana. So I did an episode before talking about how this last class, the 2024 class, LSU was able to, pretty much put a fence around Louisiana and keep a lot of talented Louisiana guys away from Texas A&M, away from Texas, away from Alabama, right? So, Jabari's another one of those Louisiana guys that Corey Raymond and, Blake Baker and Brian Kelly got to put a fence around and says, hey, we're keeping this guy at home. We got to keep him at home, right? And so, he's the number 2 player in all of Louisiana. And like I said, he was committed to LSU for nearly 5 months. He opted to decommit to go back on the board. And when kids do that, you gotta what it's about, right? It's about NIL. It's about money, right? He took official visits to Florida State, and he also took visits to Miami. And let's get real, man. We seen what Florida State was able to do in the transfer portal last season, right? And you see what Miami is doing in the transfer portal and also doing on the recruiting trail, right? It's hard to beat Miami money, right? Texas A&M, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, Alabama. They got huge collectives, right? Right? And so you got to think that, hey, okay, sure, Miami has a lot of money to throw in your face, but are they going to be able to develop you to being a good player, a good person, right? Or is it all about the dollar bill? Now I'm all for people getting paid, right? NIL money, I'm pretty sure is helping people's families and all of that good stuff. But if you are someone who cares about winning and cares about competing on a very big stage, there's no better place than LSU over Miami, right? Yeah, you can stack a bunch of guys, right? But is Mario Cristobal going to be able to, uh, you know, develop those guys and have those guys winning at a high level or putting them in a position to win at a high level? And I just don't think he's going to be able to do that. And so, why would you not commit to LSU? But anyways, right, like I said, he took official visits to Florida State and Miami, and I have to think that anytime someone is pondering going to Miami, if they're not a Florida guy, like they're not from Florida, then um, you know, they're throwing money in their face. But again, that's the name of the game. But um, he says Miami kept it real with him. And he's just saying that he had fun at his official visit at Miami, right? And so, you know, if you go look at Jaboree Antoine's tape, the guy's a playmaker. Same with DJ Pickett, and LSU has to land ideally both of these guys, right? But if I had to be negative, I would say land at least one of them. Um, but I would love for LSU to land both of these guys. And if LSU is able to land both of these guys, or let's say they was able to land DJ Pickett, a lot of the fans are going to be, a lot of that doubt in saying that Corey Raymond is a wash coach and he don't have it anymore. A lot of that doubt is going to uh, subside, right? Again, like I said, a lot of fans are on the fence about, Corey Raymond, but I'm not on the fence, right? I love Corey Raymond, but, you know, I do feel stress, right? I feel stressed because, you know, if you think about what LSU was in the past, being DBU, and what it is now, you just stress because LSU is only a few pieces away from a national championship, right? We got some talented guys in the quarterback room. We got some talented guys in the running back room. LSU, Louisiana grows talented wide receivers, right? We got some studs in the tight end room. LSU has one of the best offensive line. Well, this season, going into the 2024 season, LSU has the best offensive line. But there's some guys that's waiting in the way in the in you know that's waiting in the shadows to take the place of Campbell, and to take the place of Emory Jones, right? And so LSU again has turned up the heat along the defensive line. We got talented linebackers. We just gotta fix the secondary, man. We just gotta fix the secondary. And so, although I'm not a coach, I have no affiliation with LSU besides just being a fan. I feel the stress. I feel like just the most stress I've had in a long time for LSU you know, to land two big fish in DJ Pickett and Jabari uh, Antoine. So fingers crossed, you know what I mean? If you believe in that type of stuff, right? Hopefully LSU can land both of these guys. Uh, if not both, hopefully we can get one. But we need to get DBU kickstarted again. And if LSU can land these guys, you know, the momentum is going to go from there. Top talent want to play with top talent. It's the same way when LSU got DJ Stingley, and then they was able to nab Elijah Ricks, right? Because DJ Stingley was the best cornerback. LSU got him, won a national championship with him, and then Elijah Ricks showed up, right? And so talent wants to play with talent. Talent attracts talent. So if DJ Pickett commits to LSU, you don't think the other cornerbacks that's not committed are not going to take another look at LSU and be like, I want to go play that. I want to go play that. I want to be a part of that atmosphere. I want to put on the purple and gold, right? And stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. But y'all let me know. Let me know in the comment section where you think these guys are going to go. You think LSU is going to get both of them? You think LSU is going to get one of them? You think LSU is not going to get any of them? Let me know in the comment section below. Again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification button. Leave a like. Leave a comment. I made this podcast just for me to, express my opinions about LSU football and, some other teams around the college football landscape. And so I'm just a little guy on a little platform, speaking about, speaking his opinions or whatever. So again, appreciate everyone who support the channel so far. And until next time, I'm out.